Hey everybody, it's Diandra Marie, and this is an interview series I'm entitling Imposter Syndrome, where I sit down with a creative artist or entrepreneur to talk about their creative journey and how they combat their imposter syndrome. And today, I have a very dope, established, professional creative sitting with me, Malaika Muindi.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm good.
We have a photographer. She's a content creator. She does personal branding, photography, commercial photography. She's a biologist. She's going to tell us more about that in a second. But how are you today?
I'm good. The weather's beautiful, so
Facts.
we happy.
Yeah, no, that's right. Give us that, melatonin, dopamine, something. Whatever the chemicals are. No, but I do, even though I gave, more of a formal introduction, let the viewers know who you are.
Yeah, I am a photographer, storyteller, creative. I like to dabble in different mediums, so but my focus is photography for sure through storytelling. Like I definitely got started with landscape photography, and then I jumped into portrait photography and commercial photography and so on. So, and then documentary series with videography. So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's like really dope how extensive your resume is, because I read your bio and you started out as a biology major. It's like your story sounds so unique in the sense of like, oh, looking through a microscope made me want to look through a camera lens. So it's like, how do we get from like truly looking through a microscope to like, no, I want to expand this and get the bigger picture through photography?
Yeah, I mean, yes, studied biology, and I did take a photography class while I was in college as well, but it was just literally like the beginner basics. But after I graduated, I was still in the lab, and I was doing research projects that were very deep and like really challenged me emotionally. Was studying neurobiology, was studying the effects of brain development for children growing up in low socioeconomic societies versus high, and the findings are scary. Of just seeing like, yes, there are differences on the brain matter and so on. But obviously with a topic like that, there are challenges with getting support. And that's when I was like, I don't know if I can do this forever.
Yeah.
So trying to figure out, like just not being sure after that, this is something I wanted to do. So picking up the camera again, and like taking it a bit more seriously in the sense of just like, landscape photography, being outside, and then just really enjoying that. And then there was a young lady who like stepped in front of the camera. I have this photo, like it was in front of my parents' house, and she's in front of this bush that's just like bursting out behind her. And I was like, oh, this is it. I'm doing this. So from there, I started to build my portfolio, and here we are.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
So it's like, do you feel like there's any connection from truly looking through a microscope? Do you feel like that has helped you be a better photographer, like for yourself?
Yeah, I think when you first start off with photography, you kind of want to just shoot.
Yeah.
But when you've studied biology, or when you're looking through a microscope, or when you're doing tests, you really have to take your time.
Yeah.
You have to be patient. You have to test out different methods before you know which one you want to focus on. And so I think with photography, for me, I want to be a little bit more detailed so that people see a little bit more when you look even past that person in the photo. What's in the background? What colors do you see? What textures are you seeing? And hopefully that connects the whole story in the picture.
Yeah, and that brings it back to, you're a storyteller, right? And you've gone from doing, pictures worth 1,000 words to, even venturing into videography and content creation, in a broader sense. So going from, again, a more technical, precise major and career like biology, getting into photography, but now you're in so many different arrays of creativity. What does combating imposter syndrome look like for you, right? Because your mind when you're doing a headshot shoot is different than if you're doing landscape or real estate right? So how do you honor those different sides of yourself, but also combat your imposter syndrome when there might be some limitations?
I think the embracing the different sides of yourself is super, super important to combating imposter syndrome. I think we are multifaceted people, so we have to embrace that in order to live. Like, I think if you want to, nowadays, I'll say I've got to a point in my life where I'm making sure that I do things and surround myself with people that make me feel alive. So I think for me, in order to combat imposter syndrome, I have to surround myself with good energy. I have to surround myself and do things and consume things that make me feel alive, make me feel good about myself. And then literally only focusing on that. Right. And I think everything that comes after that will flow with you. And everything is not for you. So what doesn't come with you is fine, right? Yeah. And I think a lot of us have to let go of appeasing everybody. I think letting go of like trying to make sure everyone's comfortable around you instead of the other way around. I think really getting super selfish and that not being like a taboo, and especially for women, that's super important.
I love that. And I do want to talk about, you know, the things that are for you.
Yeah.
We about to get right into that. You talk about Black women photographers. It's like, okay. Right. So you recently entered in, well, not recently, but maybe like in the last year or so, entered in for a grant by Getty Images. I think it was iStock and Black women photographers. And you ended up being one of the grant winners. I believe the total pool was $20,000. Right. And in your, you know, response to receiving that, you're talking about, you know, being able to sustain storytelling, being able to help other people tell their stories and build their brands. And then, you know, you also post about, hey, I'm from Newark. Like, I work in Newark. I love Newark. I love where I'm from, right? As we get older and become more creative, you talk about being selfish, but that selfishness also comes with serving. And serving, you know, being able to give our talents back. So what does legacy look like for you as a creative, and, you know, the importance of that for you at this point? Yeah,
I mean, at this point, I've recently, taken on an intern, right? So I've taken on an intern, young lady still in high school, but she already has a vision for herself of like, I want to start a business by the time I get to college. She's not sure if she wants photography to necessarily be that business, but she's exposing herself to something that will give her some influence and help her figure it out. Right. And I think that's the whole point of it all, is like, you gotta try, right? You gotta test the waters. You gotta challenge yourself in order to really refine who you are. But I think for me, taking on interns and then also teaching. I've taught a few photography classes. I wouldn't necessarily consider, I do love the babies, right? So like, I'll teach babies any day. They are enthusiastic, open-minded. Right. And so it's like, you want to tap into that. And I think as adults, it helps us. Like, it helps us stay in touch with ourselves, our younger, our childlike self. And I think once we get into that, it's easier to let go of what people are thinking and, oh, should I do? No, it's just like, be like a kid. I don't care. Spill some milk every now and then. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't hurt to try. If you spill some milk, clean it up. You know, it's like really thinking of like, just do what you want to do. So surrounding myself with youthful energy is always like a way to teach me and then also push me to leave some legacy behind.
Oh, I love that. And like, I'm someone who's spiritual. So when you say like, be like a child, you know, that's definitely in scripture. Right. Jesus says, be like a child, be open, be have a thirst for life. Try new things. There's no age to anything. Thank you for sitting down with me and, you know, helping me combat my imposter syndrome. I really appreciate it and your insight, and I hope we can stay connected. Right. But if we got work. Yeah, I mean, clearly we already connected with the green room, okay? But if people want to stay connected with you, like, how can people follow you or with you?
I mean, follow me at Malaika Muindi on all social media platforms. I also check out my website. I have my first print for sale. And all my projects are up there. You can link to my documentary series with my friend Diandra, the watchmaker, and my friend Chris, the photographer. So check it out.
I hope you continue your creative journey and can look back on this whenever you're facing imposter syndrome. Yes. So until next time, stay up and don't let imposter syndrome get the best of you.